Good evening, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. We're continuing our live stream and severe weather coverage here at WCNC and WCNC.com or any platform that you're watching us on. The good news is the tornado warning has expired earlier, but we still have a nasty line of storms, which I'm hearing from a lot of you on social media of how strong these winds are as they're pushing through the area. Let me kind of break down the leading edge because it's really about the front side of this storm on the leading edge. So let's go right to that. Greensboro, severe thunderstorm warning down to Thomasville, to Denton, into parts of Rowan County, then into the central part of North Carolina, the Asheboro area down to Albemarle, eastern Cabarrus County. You're almost in the clear Cabarrus County. Union County, this is just moving in. So if you're in the western part of Union County, North Carolina, I'm talking parts like Wingate, Indian Trail, Mineral Springs, Waxhaw, Weddington, right on the county line with Mecklenburg. You're seeing some really nasty weather. Then into the panhandle of Lancaster County. So Indian Land down to Van Wyck. Lancaster, it's not there yet. Chester, you're getting clobbered. Great Falls area, it's heading your way. Heath Springs, and then Winnsboro areas into parts of Kershaw County, heading your way as well. This is all traveling east at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. So far, so good. This looks to be primarily severe thunderstorm winds. Not that it's great. You could see that line. Look at that line from Jackson Hill to New London, pretty much right there on the Cabarrus-Stanley County line. That is a really strong area of wind. Let me just quickly kind of show you how strong those winds are. Again, the radar beam is intersecting it around, I'd say, look, about 800 feet off the ground. So it's detecting wind speeds of around 60 to 70 miles per hour in that area. So certainly something that could potentially knock down trees, power lines, cause damage to your home. As you go south into Union County, this is what I was talking about. The winds don't look quite as strong, but there's definitely a strong wind shift line from Unionville to Monroe, back to Waxhaw, and then back towards Van Wyck, and then all the way back down to Richburg, heading down towards areas just to the west of Great Falls and southeast of Chester. Again, that's all pushing to the east fairly quickly. Now, there is some good news in all this. Let me kind of update this. The tornado watch is slowly being whittled away. And what do I mean by that? Basically, as the line pushes east, they're canceling out the tornado watch for the counties back to the west. I'm waiting for this to update here because my phone is going off and my computer is going off. And it sounds like we're starting to see that back edge kind of move through. So let me kind of show you. It's still loading, by the way. So basically, they're whittling the counties down to the west as this front or the line of thunderstorms begins to shift off to the east. So let me quickly show it to you. I'll pop it back up. It was reloading as it was updating. I know Gaston County has been removed, so I'm waiting to see if Gaston County pops out of here. So I know Gaston County's showing up here, but it's been taken out, and Iredell County's been taken out. So Mecklenburg, you're still in it, York, Chester, but you get the idea. These counties will begin to push off to the east and start to see this weaken as it pushes off in that direction. I do want to show you how long this line is because it is a pretty big line of storms. We'll kind of widen this out a little bit to show you. The computer is running really slow tonight. It must not be liking this weather either. Kind of show you how big this line is. You could see it extends from Virginia all the way back into Georgia. Now there's rain behind it, don't get me wrong. It's still going to rain for a while on the back side of that front or that squall line, but it's not severe on the backside. It's really that leading edge. Once you get into the backside of this, we actually see some stable air begin to move into the region. So I'm going to quickly show you the future cast to kind of show you how this progressed. So the line's essentially over us now. It's actually a little bit further east than that. As we get towards 9 and 10 o'clock, I'm going to stop it at 10 o'clock. You can see still some rain out there, but the severe weather threat will be completely gone at this point because the atmosphere is cooling down, everything's pushing off to the east, and we should see things stabilize. But then there's a whole other part of this storm. I mean, we've got the severe weather part tonight, obviously. Severe storms ongoing this evening. They started around 4 o'clock and they're winding down around 8 or 9. The backside, we're going to see snow move into the mountains, and eventually we're going to see the potential for the first real accumulating snows of the season for the higher elevation of the mountains. I'm going to go back to the radar and I'm going to show you the LSRs. LSR stands for Local Storm Report. Just kind of shows you all the areas that we're getting damage reports from. Seeing numerous trees on homes. So let's kind of break this down. So far, the ones that have come in from this line back here into parts of Cleveland County. Let's go to the Shelby area. Got reports of numerous trees and power lines down across the county. Thunderstorm damage is around 542. We go here, Bessemer City area, 911, same thing, multiple trees down in Serenity Woods. Cleveland County, tons of trees on a vehicle. One person being injured on the intersection of Skinner Road and Winter Circle. So we've got one injury, unfortunately, there in Cleveland County. And then this damage report here, tree, it looks like blocking the road. NCDOT is removing it. So some pretty significant tree damage. Also tree and thunderstorm damage down in the Gaffney area. So a lot of tree damage. That's an indication how strong the winds are. We're waiting for new reports to come in across Mecklenburg County, but just scouring through our reports on chat and from our spotters, a lot of trees down on homes, cars in York County, Mecklenburg County, Cabarrus County. So we've seen quite a bit of tree damage. The power outages, I'm just going to quickly look at those. Not a lot of power outages, which is a good sign. The counties with the biggest outages right now, Lincoln County has about 835 people without power. Iredell County, about 622. Cleveland County, where those trees were down, around 534, and then up into Wilkes County, 492. Mecklenburg County, there are about 2,046 people without power. Cabarrus County, just one. Gaston County, only 152, and 32 people in Union County. So Mecklenburg County, we've got, the number of people that we're tracking is around, over 500,000. About 2,000 of you are without power right now, and that's primarily due to trees blowing down and causing power lines to come down with them. So we'll look at the radar again. The areas that need to be on guard are areas in Montgomery County, Eastern Stanley County, Anson, Stanley, Richmond, Chesterfield, and Eastern Lancaster County. That's where the leading edge is. So let me turn off the warnings real quickly just to show you a storm track. So what I'm going to do, let me put that back on, sorry. Turned off the wrong thing there. We'll turn that on. The speed is varied. I'd say they're moving about 35 to 40 miles per hour just based on the time I've been tracking them this evening. I'm going to put a big old squall line track here off to the east. We'll do that. And there's the time of arrival. So again, when we show you the time of arrivals here on these storm tracks, one word of caution. Even though we're giving you a specific time, you got to give this a plus or minus about 5 to 10 minutes. So be in your shelter location or inside or in a place to get away from the weather 5 to 10 minutes before, and stay there 5 to 10 minutes after this time, because this is just the time of arrival, and again, it can vary. So Albemarle 7:29, Asheboro 7:42, Polkton, Troy 7:56 to about 8 o'clock, Wadesboro about 8:10, Robbins 8:23, Pinehurst 8:55, Sanford 9 o'clock, and then Cary, Holly Springs, we're getting towards the Raleigh area up in Wake County. We're talking closer to 9:30. So if you're in Wake County watching or in that area, the Triad, it's definitely heading your way. The Triad and Triangle areas are definitely going to be impacted by this. Right now, the Triad getting hit, but the Triangle, it's probably going to be there closer to 9:30 or so as that pushes off in that direction. So we talked about the threat tonight. The main threat has been damaging winds. We've only seen one tornado warning. I don't think it's going to be confirmed. The biggest threat we've seen is damaging winds, and that has been verified by the number of damage reports that we've seen so far, damaging straight line winds, bringing down trees. But that threat will wane as we get later into the evening. The one thing that's interesting to see is what this has done to the temperature. So I don't normally show temperatures during severe weather coverage, but I think it's vital to what's happening here in January. You can see ahead of that line, look at the temperatures, like in Albemarle, Wadesboro, Rockingham, Sherrall, Lancaster, Monroe, even Concord, low to mid 60s. The average high is 52. So it's, here we are coming up. The time is 7:27 p.m. Eastern time. We've got temperatures that we would normally see in late March or April ahead of the line. Behind it, you can see the 40s and 50s, and notice the shift in the wind. Strong southerly winds, we call this a low-level jet between the ground and 5,000 feet. And then back here, the winds are slower, but they're out of the west. So that's wind shear, that's wind changing direction with height. So that kind of shows you that this is feeding off of this warm, humid air as the line pushes east, and behind it, we're seeing the cooler air. Now, if I show you the radar, I can widen this out. This is part of a larger system. I'll show you the radar and satellite together, and you'll see the low pressure, which is attached to this cold front. I'm going to widen this out. You can see that area back here into Kentucky and Tennessee. This is the upper level system. The air mass back there is much colder, and there is going to be some snow that's going to wrap around the back side of this. So eventually, we will see some snow move into the North Carolina mountains. In fact, winter storm warnings up for the North Carolina mountains from Avery County south, and we've also got winter weather advisories to the north. So let me show you those real quickly because we've already got school cancellations. Avery County has canceled school already tomorrow because of this. So I'm going to go out and show you this real close up. We'll go to our mountains first. You see Ashe County, Watauga County, that's a winter weather advisory. Avery County winter storm warning, but that winter storm warning extends along the Tennessee line all the way back to the Smokies and just outside of the Asheville area. And how much snow are we talking about? Well, we haven't seen a lot. I mean, Beech Mountain, which is one of the snowiest places in North Carolina, only 5.5 inches of snow so far this season. You could see by Saturday morning some of these totals, especially Howard's Knob there near Meat Camp, the Banner Elk area, which is between Beech and Sugar Mountain. That's 4 to 6, maybe 7 or 8 inches. Blowing Rock a lot less, Boone a lot less, 1 to 3 inch range. Kind of gives you a rough idea. So that's what's coming in after this. So once the severe weather moves out, we'll turn our attention completely to the winter weather, which is moving in. But we still have some strong storms out there. We don't want to lose focus on those because until those get out of our area, we still have some severe thunderstorm warnings to talk about. So we'll go back to the radar here real quickly and kind of show you that severe weather that is now basically just east of here. So from Albemarle to Monroe to Polkton, all the way back down to Lancaster, that's the leading edge of that severe weather line. That is right there pushing east at around 35 miles per hour. So severe thunderstorm warnings, you can see most of these are up till 7:30, which is interesting. That eastern part of Mecklenburg, that's going to expire here in 10 seconds. So watch this update live on the air. We'll see that one go away. This one will go away, and this will be cleared up here in a second. So kind of see this 7:28. My watch is actually a little bit fast, apparently 7:30-ish. So I got 7:29. So we got 1 more minute left on these. These will cancel out, but these are new warnings now for Stanley, Anson, Unity. There we go, updating as we speak. That one's still up. We'll see if it updates here in a second. We're still at 7:29, but these are the new warnings. Basically, I think you're going to see this all the way to the Raleigh area into eastern North Carolina, I-95 corridor. You're probably going to see warnings all along this line as it pushes off to the east. Good news here, I will do kind of an all clear. So what I'm going to do is we'll kind of get my pen out here. Let me turn off the warnings real quickly. And I just want to give an all clear from severe. Not that it's all clear from rain, by the way. This is just all clear from severe. So we'll grab my cursor. I'm going to change the color so it's a better color to look at. We'll do white. So essentially behind this line right here, right there, this is going to be our all clear from severe. So let me grab the text box real quick. I'm going to actually post this out as well for people that aren't watching the live stream. So we'll all clear from severe. So here we go, all clear from severe behind this line. So if you're ahead of this line, you still got some weather to get through, but if you're behind that line, you're actually in the clear right now. Now, this storm has caused a lot of damage in parts of the southeast. In fact, it caused quite a bit of damage down in Alabama and parts of Georgia. So what you're looking at here is some video out of Georgia. We've had several tornadoes touch down there today, and if you're on social media, you probably have seen some of the crazy video of the tornado that went through Selma, Alabama. That was a significant tornado, likely EF3 or higher. And at one point today, there was tornado emergencies for that supercell, which was tracking from Alabama into parts of Georgia. So yeah, it was really just a crazy day of storms. And you can see the video here coming out of parts of Alabama and Georgia where we've had a lot of cleanup there. So yeah, all clear from severe behind this line. We still got issues in central and eastern North Carolina as the storm moves off to the east. So I'm going to post this real quickly for folks that are online. I see people on Twitter wanting updates as well that aren't watching the stream. But we'll post this real quickly behind this line. So the rain is not done. So just to be clear, the rain is still going on, but we're not looking at severe clear behind there yet. We're just clear from the severe stuff. So let me post this real quickly. And again, if you have any pictures or video that you can safely send us, maybe a tree down or power outages in your area, we'd love to hear from you. Because one of the things that does help the Weather Service verify some of these warnings also can have maybe the option that we would see a survey done, a damage survey, to see if it's straight line wind or tornado damage, especially if you live in northern Gaston County, northern Mecklenburg into Cabarrus. That's where that tornado warning was earlier today, and early this evening, I should say. And I think it will be curious to see if there was any kind of damage path there. So as I was talking, we're now past the 7:30 time frame. We can give you an update. So the new warnings, a pretty big warning here, which includes the Asheboro area all the way to Wadesboro and Albemarle. That's for Davidson, Montgomery, Randolph, and Stanley County till 8 o'clock tonight. Pretty large warning. And then Union County, that is really odd. James, I don't know if you've ever seen that either, 7:33. that is a weird time. You don't normally see expiration dates at like odd numbers like that. Usually it's going to be, okay, so it's 8 o'clock now. That's a really weird one. Yeah, usually it's like, you know, every 15 minutes it's going to be 7 o'clock, 7:15. So yeah, that's kind of weird. It might have been a little glitch. They might have been eroding it slowly. But so there's a new one. All these are till 8 o'clock. So I like this consolidation. This is a better way to kind of show you the warnings instead of getting too confused. Basically, this whole squall line is being warned for until 8 o'clock. And likely what you're going to see, it's 7:30 now. There'll be another warning right here till 8:30. And then another one here off to the east till 9 o'clock. That's probably going to be the method going forward. So the good news is the threat is almost completely out of our area. It is pouring like crazy. And by the way, let me quickly look at the rainfall amounts, because we talked about the flood threat today being a little bit of an issue. Let me see if I can find our rainfall amounts. I lost our rainfall graphic. We'll look for rain. Show you that real quickly. I'm just curious how much rain we got so far. So we'll pop up the 24-hour rainfall amounts. Well, really not as much as I would expect. Now, some of these gauges, like Concord gauge, has been broken forever. Hickory, 1.03. Charlotte, just officially a 1/4 inch. Rock Hill, a 1/2 inch. But again, it's still raining back here. So, yeah, Hickory, the only spot that really jumps off at me. That looks like a lot. But you can kind of see the rain hasn't made it east yet. We don't have a bunch of totals coming out of those areas yet. So, go back to the radar real quickly here. Show you that. I'm checking the power outages one more time too to see if there's any uptick. In North Carolina, there's only, it's not, it's hard to say that when you're one of them, but now it just jumped, up to 9,000. So 9,773 customers in North Carolina being tracked out of the 5 million people tracked. Poweroutages.us that basically are out of power right now. So, which I know that's a lot of people, especially if you're one of them, but for the massive size of the storm, that's actually much lower than you would expect. That's a good sign. That means we haven't seen a lot of widespread damage or main lines hit by that. One of the things that works in your favor this time of year for wind damage, trees just don't have leaves on them. So there's less surface area for the wind to push on the tree, so it's just on the branches. Trust me, you get a strong wind, it's still gonna come down, but when you have a full tree full of leaves, it's much easier to push that 50-mile-an-hour wind and knock it over. The one thing that is not great right now is the ground's pretty saturated, so moist soil, typically you can uproot trees a little bit easier, but I think the fact that we don't have leaves on the trees likely helping us right now and producing less of a tree damage threat than we normally would. So we're just getting some video. I mean, it was mentioned Alabama and Georgia. Boy, I think this is the Selma area when I look at this. Yeah, that's looks like Selma, Alabama, and I have not looked at I pray there's no fatalities or major injuries, but just looking at the radar today and looking at the images, this was a significant tornado down there. Unfortunately, it does, I'm just being told there may be at least six fatalities so far in Selma, because that is a very, very populated part of southern Alabama where this storm went right across, and thus the tornado emergency today. So thoughts and prayers to the folks in Alabama, because they've had a rough time with tornadoes for the last several years, and it looks like again today here in January. For our neck of the woods, a little bit better news, as I mentioned. Tornado watch was set to expire at 10 p.m. We've got a few more counties out of there. As I mentioned, Iredell and Gaston County are out. So now the only counties left in the watch, Rowan, Cabarrus, Union, Mecklenburg, York, Chester, and Lancaster counties. And I would not be surprised here by the top of the hour, if not by 9, all these will be gone. So we will not make it till 10 o'clock with this tornado watch. It's a very high likelihood that we will see it completely whittled away here in the next, I'd say, hour and a half or so. Quick update here coming up at about a quarter of the hour. I'm just going to take a quick glance on any damage reports coming in. I am getting some new reports in, all of these coming in within the last 8 minutes. Mount Ula, Iredell County, multiple trees down in Windthrow Creek Road and Shinville Road. Also Hodges, in the town of Hodges in Greenwood County, South Carolina, trees down. This one is from Lincoln County, so Iron Station area, beautiful area of Lincoln County. Train spotter reported multiple trees down at Randleman and Highway 27 in Iron Station. Troutman, Iredell County. Fire department reports tree blocking highway at the intersection of Moose Club Road and Skyuka Road. And then this one from the Lake Wiley area, emergency management there in York County, reports a tree on a house near Clover off of Briar Drive. In fact, let me pull these up on our LSR reports. So I kind of show you as they're finally starting to filter in. What happens is reports come in, they come in via chat, we start verifying those, and then they start being plotted. So yeah, you're starting to see more of these coming in. So these are the new reports coming in. So this line that came out of Cleveland into Gaston County, this is the one that actually had the tornado warning. So this alert, that LSR right there, let's zoom in. That's near Dallas. Yeah, right there. Let me highlight that one real quickly because I'm kind of curious. So that was wind damage at 612. Power lines down, a few blown transformers across Gaston County. So I was looking at our camera at the time this was happening, looking to the west as the line was approaching to see if I saw transformers blowing or power arcing, because that's when the tornado warning was issued, right with this. And that tornado tracked this direction over to Mountain Island Lake, north of Spencer Mountain and north of Mount Holly, and then towards Cornelius. So if you're in those corridors and you hear me, if you know anybody in that area, let me know, because I'd love to know if there was damage reports or what you heard and saw, because the way that tornado warning tracked, and I can grab my cursor here, was roughly this direction, right? And well, that's a little too low. I'm sorry, that was not. Let me grab this one. More like this direction. So it tracked straight from Dallas toward just north of 485, North Lake Mall area, south of Huntersville, near Cornelius, and then over into the area going into northwest Cabarrus County. So if you're in this area and you had some kind of damage, I'd love to hear from you. Tweet at me, WXBrad. Facebook, same thing, WXBrad. Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube, anywhere you can message me, email, wxbrad@gmail. Give me some damage reports. We'd love to see what happened there so we can kind of verify. There's a damage report coming out of Mecklenburg County, looks like here, not too far from the station actually. That one is not too far away. That's a tree down on a house at Tall Oaks Trail, South Park Mall area. So that's around, that was at 6:55, so just at 7 o'clock almost. So that's in the South Park area, had a tree down in that area. So that's an area with some big old tall oaks. So not surprised, the road it's on is Tall Oaks Trail. There you go. So that's definitely one of the things. So we've been getting some images from you. Some of the pictures coming in now. This is submitted to us on our website or via our app. This is Boiling Springs, so you can see some debris there. Hard to tell from these images, straight line or tornado, but probably straight line wind damage based on some of the other stuff we saw. The winds were really strong with this system. There was definitely a lot of wind energy. So that's a lot of steel. Yeah, that's like one of those metal sheds, and it's wrapped up pretty good. So, hey, we saw a lot of this Patterson area over in Cleveland County. That's some hail that accumulated. I saw a lot of hail accumulation today, which is pretty significant. When you see that much hail in a short period of time, the storm's producing a lot of hail, but not large hail. usually indication that the tops are just tall enough to produce hail, but the updraft isn't big enough to make giant hail. Also a big cluster of damage up here in the Mooresville, Statesville area. So you get an idea, that line traveled like this, and we're going to see this probably fill in with more reports of storm damage. So let's go back to the radar. We'll zoom in on it. There's our leading edge. Again, 8 o'clock, these warnings. Still heavy rain over us, but then pushing off to the east. So I'll keep a close eye on this. Again, it's coming up here at 7:42 or so. If you do have reports, one of the best ways you can send it to us is grab your smartphone, download the WCNC app. There is a great feature on there called the Near Me feature. It really is a cool feature. You hit the Near Me feature, you can submit a video, pictures, any kind of reports comes directly to us. We know exactly where it was from. The other great thing, you're watching me right now, wherever you're watching me, there I am on the app. We stream directly to you. So when there's a tornado warning or severe weather and you're away from your TV, you can go right here, you can watch our newscast or watch our stream, and you can be anywhere in the country as long as you got Wi-Fi and a cell service. It works great. Days where we have to be weather aware like this, that app can be a huge asset to you, especially if you have to shelter in place in your tornado protection area, either your closet, interior hallway, lowest floor, interior room of your house, usually away from the TV. Keep this thing charged up on days like today, bring a battery pack, take it in there with you, and I'll give you the all clear. So again, if you live in the Sandhills, central North Carolina, down here into the Midlands, here, you need to still stay weather aware. But if you're behind this line, all clear from severe. You are good for the rest of the evening. So just maybe another 30 minutes or so, we can clear out the entire area in the Sandhills. But if you're in those areas, please stay aware just for another hour or so. It's coming up here at 7:45. So give yourself to about 8:45, 9 o'clock, or until this line is past you. Once it passes through your area, you're going to be all in the clear. So thanks again for tuning in. We will post any updates as we get through the evening. Don't forget, tonight at 11 on WCNC Charlotte or on Roku or wherever you watch us streaming-wise, we'll have complete updates, and all those pictures and videos you send us, we'll turn those around and hopefully show some of the damage and the reports coming up tonight at 11 right here on WCNC Charlotte. Stay safe out there and stay weather aware if you're east of that line.